I have clawed my way back, beyond the 13 gates, to this mortal realm.
The Magician. Rescue the missing Empire soldiers from a town plagued with corruption.
A casual call to heroism. How many adventures start thus? For 100 years I have thought about nothing but the game. I was defeated. It is true. I became complacent long before then. I thought I knew everything about the game and what it could be. Now you see before you the extent of my research. I have crafted this game anew.
Your conversation with a fur trader is interrupted as Malaclips arrives in a flurry. The whispers speak of trouble at the edge of the Empire. The town of Westwind is suffering against the Blight. To Westwind. You return to the markets and ask if any traders headed to Westwind might need an escort. There are 3 options: a stonemason, a food wagon, and a weaponsmith. Food wagon. A food wagon headed to a nearby wedding offers you a ride. They give you some food in exchange for not taking you the whole way. You arrive at the town of Westwind. To defend the town, you'll need to locate as many Empire soldiers as you can before the Blight invades.
Let us learn what sort you are. Strong? Clever? Wise?
You
The
enter a competition in
circumstances under
strength.
which you come here put the lie to that.
At a fair, a gold prize is available to the winner. In the second round of the competition, you sit opposite the aged frame of Huntley Toothless. He boasts about once being a silencer for the Thieves Guild.
Dice are a constant reminder of death. The singular is die, as I'm sure you know, and they are often called bones for the material from which they were crafted. Here, however, they may also bring a touch of life.
The haggard ex-hitman appears to know some type of hand grip that numbs your muscles. You are defeated. You take the lesser reward for losing in the competition of strength. When you return, a new contest will begin.
They place themselves in these dire
Stranded
positions, and then
Patrolling the
expect a
outskirts of
hero
West when you
to
hear the
come
clash of
rescue
steel
them
and
when things
unmistakable
become
groan
too
of corrupted.
much.
Your investigation leads to a distressed nobleman perched on the roof of his carriage. Thanks to gods, I was headed to tea with the Duke Gilbert when we were ambushed. My footmen left me here to fight them off, but the brawl has now dispersed into the forest. The noble peers fearfully at the tree line. If you stay here and protect me, I can pay. We're going after the soldiers. You rush into the forest and quickly encounter a squad of Empire soldiers battling the corrupted.
Let us see if the mage can help you here.
Malaclips, a magician, a jester, and a vagabond. When activated, Malclips casts a protective spell on you that can block a single hit.
If nothing else, I'll get a song out of this. By sea and sun, fate and fane!
With the corrupted dispatch, the soldiers turn to you. I'm sure we could have handled it, but thanks for stepping in. I guess we have to go back to escorting His Highness, Sir Quivering Blanket of Mumsy, off to his palace. You get bonus dice for each soldier you save. Offer them gold to protect Westwind. Appeal to their sense of duty to protect Westwind.
A win here sets the tone for your challenge.
Your inspiring speech wins over the remaining soldiers. You gain 2 recruits.
Commerce thrives in
General
even the
store,
most
the shopkeeper
unusual
nods you as you enter
occasions.
adventure. How's the world out there?
The Empire reaches too far. The North has gone from a loose collection of
You
tribes
find some
to
Imperial
something
soldiers
to
strung
truly
up by
fear.
Northerners. Pay to free them.
Here we begin to see one of
Westwind's
the small
plague.
ways I've changed.
Westwind
the
Tower
game.
bell chimes
Each
feverishly.
challenge differs both
Town
in their
crier
rules
bellows.
and
The
their
corrupted
objectives.
inside of town. They broke through the
Even those
sewers and into
cards
the Lao
which were
Lane.
once the
Our
stairs
brave soldiers
now
have gone
vary
down there
per
to sort it
challenge,
out.
as you will see.
You arrive to find Westwind's few remaining soldiers huddled at the entrance in the poorest area, Laos Lane. We cannot let the corruption spread. For the good of the town, we must dispose of anyone who has been tainted, even a little. Join the soldiers. Inflicted. The first touches of corruption bring forth the darkest elements of their victims. Infected enemies are feeble, causing them to become knocked down when health is low. Use a finisher blow before they recover.
I hope this works!
With the corrupted threat removed, you've ensured that these soldiers survive to aid the town's defense. You gain 3 recruits. The soldiers help you scavenge what you can from the remains of the poor souls taken by the corruption. Another general store.
Here's a token for you. If you
Finding
can earn it.
forest folk. Your journey through a forest is interrupted by an inquisitive child. Are you searching for the forest folk? My uncle says that they used to walk these woods, giving out gifts. I want to find one and ask for a lemon cake. As they dash off, they peer under a nearby log. The child shouts back, remember, if you meet the forest folk, get me a lemon cake. In their direction, an eerie song hangs in the air. You attempt to find its origin.
Now you wager for more
See if
than
we can
mere
win it this
success
time.
and failure. You choose the very stakes themselves.
You follow the song through a thicket and stream until you find an open glade bathed in golden sunlight. You find an aged maiden, her posture bent like the boughs of a forest. It's been 12 winters since I had a visitor. Her voice is a whisper, yet it thunders in your ears. You may visit me when you are in need, adventurer.
This is yours now. Even if you lose the challenge, you have earned this token.
Captured soldiers, pay to free them.
Now your chance presents itself. At last, stand in the defense of the peasantry. What noble traits you display already. Life itself in exchange for life.
A fiend in need. As you hike through the mountains one fine day, you come across an injured traveler. Though he is clearly deeply wounded and barely moving, you sense something disturbing about the cloaked figure and approach with caution. You mortal, come here, this creature commands, his voice rasping. I need sustenance to heal myself, and you will provide it. You draw your weapon, and the beast weakly raises its arm to defend itself. Spare me, and I will make it worth your while. Accept his offer. He suddenly lunges at you. He gestures at the darkness, saying the humans who dared to think they could best me in combat lie fallen in a clearing to the south. Their ambitions was as foolish as their deaths were quick, but perhaps they had something that could be of use to you. The shadow seems to gather about his person until nothing remains. The dealer adds an encounter to the deck. You set out with a flaming torch and soon arrive at the scene of the slaughter. A dozen armed men have been recently butchered here. Among the remains you find no decent equipment, just the tools of the farmers and provincial soldiers. As you leave the carnage, you step on a blade hidden in the shadows
To
of
the
the grass.
victor go the spoils. Do not wield a weapon you do not wish to see turned against you one day.
Knight's sword.
In my day, thieves kept their distance. None would pickpocket a mage for fear of failure, or worse, success.
The market bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the lands call out to passersby to sell their wares. As the sun beats down to the crowded street, you pause briefly to draw water from a fountain. You feel something tug on the inside of your tunic. Turning quickly, you discover a pickpocket making off with some of your belongings. Bad fortune, -5 gold. You jump to your feet and catch a glimpse of the thief as they weave through the crowd. Failure. The tangled maze of people proves too much for you, and the thief makes their escape.
Your companion has his own
Maleclipse's
story to
problem.
tell.
You arrive at the
You must
city
wonder if
markets
this
to
is
meet
a
with
tale of
Maleclipse's
a hero
associate.
or a villain.
You find him sitting on a blanket by the sewer gate. You can't tell whether he's a goblin, a human, or an animate pile of greasy rags. A few wilted daisies and duckweed tied with rope are flopped on the ground around him. Merc, Maleclipse calls to the creature, arms outstretched. I have a favor to ask of you, my handsome friend. The greasy goblin man raises a hand to stop the bard's prattle. 10 gold first, you know that? Give the goblin man 10 gold. Maleclipse steps forward as Merc counts the coins. Merkel bean, the bard looks furtively around before quickly waving at his shoulder. I require help in removing a certain illness. Merc considers malclips for a while. The kind of information costs more than a few coins. You splutter indignantly. I will require a test of skill from him. He turns and points at you. Pick a flower and eat it, the greasy forest displays his meager wares. Malclips nods as if this was a fair request. Eat forget-me-not? The flower tastes pleasantly of berries and grass. You feel a little starry-eyed. Quick, what day is it? Malclips and Merc wait urgently for your answer. The 4th of second winter. Merc tuts and returns to his forward business. Seems you have failed whatever test that was. Well, shit.
Another chance to redeem yourself. Let's see how you
Top
handle
Westwind
it
Town Hall is
this
a large
time.
bell tower. Its used signal day ends the work in the mines and surrounding fields, but now will summon Westwind's defenders. Do you wish to summon the soldiers you have recruited? Ring the bell. As night cloaks Westwind, you can sense the corruption rising from the shadows all around you. You survey any soldiers you manage to recruit. You've scoured the land and brought together every available Empire soldier to the defense of Westwind. You must survive till morning when Imperial reinforcements will arrive. Give a rousing speech. Inspired. Your rousing speech imbues the soldiers with confidence and zeal. Rallied Empire. Allied Empire deal more damage. May the gods bless you, hero, shouts a farmer listening by the stables. He is quickly bundled back into the inn for safety. Steady heart. Huge failure is considered failure in precision gambits. Permanent blessing. Any number of blessings can be equipped at one time. Terror of Westwind. As the final vestiges of humanity are erased, the terror wakes. Use Bash to break the terror's corrupted armor and defeat it with a finisher before it regenerates.
With all these soldiers, you don't think you could have left me
A mighty creature of chaos felled by your power.
Once the
Does it
corrupted
satisfy
behemoth
you?
falls,
This bloodshed,
the rest of the minions
knowing
flee.
those you destroy were once simple peasants going about their day.
Their spirits broken. The soldiers erupt in cheer, praising your valor. You can rest until morning, ready to greet the reinforcements with a town already saved.
The magician returns to the deck, but now we only begin our stories of fate, folly, and magic. Do not think I'm satisfied with this, but at least we have a place to begin.
For saving the town of Westwind, we get the Ruby Ring, Valiant Aegis, and Winter's Bane. Man-Eating Tree, Gnomish Exchange, Lost Boy, Pauper Plague, and the Westwind Tavern. For finding the Forest Folk, the Old Maiden. For giving your life to save an injured shadow beast, the Knight's Sword.
As you play, you will find more options open to you. Should you find yourself blocked or overly challenged, take the time to explore the board. Unlocking cards will give you options you have not yet considered. There is the small game, the game we play, and there is the great game, the game of life and death.
The High
Game
Priestess.
I was once master of.
Collect blessings in order to enter the ritual house at the summit of Mount Frades and negotiate a treaty with the Northerners there. What's recommended? The Goblin can recommend you a deck built from suggested cards. While good, he's no match for an experienced player.
You may
Deepwater,
take
Old
their
Maiden,
recommendations
Westwind
if
Tavern,
you
Market
wish.
Thief,
They will be
Tarts Pies, and
sufficient
Exotic
for
Lies, and
now.
Malclips's Problem. Take Malclips's Problem again. We'll get rid of Tarts and Pies for Lost Boy. Equipment. Cardinal Blade. Ruby Ring, Valiant Aegis, Bastion, Winter's Blade. Supplies, Knight's Sword. A unique benefit that applies at the start of your journey. Oh, that's awesome.
You find yourself once again in the company of prayer and religion. How unfortunate. Now it begins. Negotiations on behalf of the Empire. We will see how that story ends.
Malclipse has somehow roped you into traveling deep into the far north on a diplomatic mission. While I usually refrain from working for the Empire, since this one takes me further away from it, I made an exception. It'll square my debt with General Brandstorm and help open many doors for you. What do you say? Join Malclipse and begin his quest. Excellent, bring your sword and let me do the talking, says Malclipse. I brought plenty of supplies so we can set up camp when we get hungry.
A vampire cannot cross running water. These days, you must deal with far more mundane opposition.
While crossing a stone bridge, you suddenly find yourself confronted by a villainous band. Well, we'll fight them. Returned, raised from the endless sleep to fight once more. Skeletons are weak, become armed with an assortment of equipment, making preparations for combat challenging, vulnerable to holy.
Gentlemen, please. We can work this out.
Having spilled your enemy's blood, you search their bodies for anything useful. You gain 4 fame. Equipment card. Winter's Bane. 5 food.
Be careful where one takes refuge, even in the worst of storms.
With little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. The snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision. You struggle to find cover. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Malaclip forges for firewood, saying the log is dry enough. We can set up camp here for the night. No, that's good.
Age turns us all. She has done rather better than I in the time that has passed.
Walking through a shady forest, you encounter a frail old maiden. She stops to greet you. For centuries, I have helped the mortals who find themselves lost in my forest. Is there anything that may help you with your journey? Ask for a longer life. May you live a long life, she says, and with a fragile wave of her hand, you feel a warm sensation throughout your body. Health tonic, 10 max life.
A lesson in caution
Avalanche.
awaits us all.
High up on the
Nature,
mountain, you see the silhouette of a man
truly
approaching
wild
through the heavy
nature,
snow.
will not tolerate
He bellows through the
fury
roaring
in its
wind.
domain,
Who dares trespass in the
unless
sacred
it is its
grounds of our
own.
priestess? Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with the dexterity of mountain goats. From the frozen darkness of the far north they come. Northerners can perform combo attacks. Use your posts with single-handed weapons to deal extra damage immediately after you defend.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Priestess and assistant.
A shield in more ways than one.
The clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping away everything in its path. You seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapon juts from the snow. As you near, you realize it's still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the weapon. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath and says, "You saved me, though we are enemies by blood. Take my blessing and lead me to my thoughts." Currently viewing Raider's Penance. The first hit in combat against Northerners deals 50 damage. Any number of blessings can be equipped at one time. Permanent blessing.
In the
Blizzard.
cold, men become desperate. Women hold these mountains together, even through the worst.
With a little warning, a snowstorm sweeps in from the north. Snow whips against you like shards of glass and obscures your vision as you struggle to find cover. Success. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter, and when the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed.
The mountain itself pushes you back.
Ascension. A sudden blizzard slows your progress through Mount Frades. The bitter winds pierce your skin like shards of glass. Ascend. Go to the next level.
Witches I will
Bless
tolerate.
brew. As you ascend the
They have
snowy
at
Mount
least
Frades,
stepped
you
into
happen upon a
streams of
cottage with
power
pungent
that
smoke
magicians
wafting out from the
call
chimney.
home.
A frail old lady sweeping snow off the path beckons you to come in. We've come in search of the great High Priestess to deliver an important message, says Malclips. You better go bearing blessings if you want to get on the High Priestess' good side. I'm fixing a batch right now if you'd like a taste. If I've got it right this time, you could take it to her, she says, stirring the cauldron. Malclips politely declines. I've been watching what I eat, but my companion here has an insatiable appetite, he says, nudging you forward. Failure. You take a sip of the putrid potion and feel your stomach churn. I knew I shouldn't have substituted the cloudberries for bogberries, she says, comforting you. Choose the righteous path and you'll find blessings on your own way, I'm sure. You step outside in the blistering cold and continue up Mount Frades. Blizzard. Again. Success.
Ever since I've returned to this
Wind
world,
Tavern.
I've been disappointed. The filth, the shame, the horrors dwell in the minds of men, not in the monsters in the darkness.
Westwind's only tavern, the Rusty Razor, is a safe harbor among the many dangers of the outer reaches in the Empire. Its barkeep sits outside his establishment with a look of resigned defeat. Upon your arrival, he jolts straight up and a smile almost breaks out across his face. At least someone from the guild is here. These Empire soldiers have almost ruined me. Before you can disagree, the owner swings open the saloon door and pushes you inside. Inside you discover a handful of Empire soldiers enjoying ale rather than doing their duty. The freshly invigorated barkeep hops up on a table and shouts above the noise, "You lazy, drunken deserters are done. The Stewards Guild has sent an enforcer here, and now you're all going to have to get back to your post. This town needs defending." One of the soldiers rises with slight sway. "We've got 3 days until our shift ends and we return to civilization. So we're not doing any fighting unless they threaten the supply of ale, right lads?" A rackinous cheer erupts and beer tankards smash together all around. "So why don't you take your shiny Sun King badge and shove off?" Barkeep turns to you. "What you gonna do? I'm threatened." You suggest with menace that the soldiers should report to duty or they'll report to the healer. Failure. "Won't be threatened by the likes of you," the soldier grumbles as he rises, followed by his friends. Watchman. Taken from the dregs of society, elevated to petty positions of power. Watchmen can block, greatly reducing incoming damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Just once. Could we get quiet?
Take the ruby ring. Valuable for purely financial reasons, if nothing
All
else.
soldiers. All soldiers fall under yet another blow from your weapon. The leader shouts, "Stop, alright, we'll do our part, just stop cracking our skulls."
Not every temple has
Simple
crumbled
prayers.
into the dust.
The
More's the
Temple of
pity.
Divine Providence provides blessings in exchange for a simple gold donation. Pay 6 gold. Gold zealot.
Will you push on despite nature itself attempting to thwart you?
Oh, I don't have 6 gold. The market bazaar is a hive of activity. Traders from across the land call out passerbys to sell their wares. Bad fortune, lose 5 gold. Let's try to catch him this time. Failed. Tangled maze of people proves too much for you.
The mountain is unforgiving. You would not be the first to die upon its peak.
Further up the mountain, the blizzard becomes so intense you barely see the tiny cottage engulfed in the snow. The old lady beckons you in. "I've received word from my sister's hawk, and I've been expecting you. I may not be as skilled as her, but this blessing potion I've whipped up is my best yet. Do you think it's good enough to take to the High Priestess?" She says, blowing the steam off a simmering bowl of thick liquid. "Remember how great it worked for you last time?" she says, mouth clips with a sideways glance. Guardian Angel. Pick again. Optionally retry any chance card's gambit. You take a sip of the aromatic potion and feel a warm fuzzy feeling flowing through your body. "Looks like my recipe is a success. I'm sure High Priestess will appreciate this one." Thank the old lady and continue up to Mount Frades, paying no heed to the brewing blizzard.
With the least of notice, the very land.
High up on the mountain, you see a silhouette of a man approaching through the heavy snow.
Life is
He bellows
filled
through the
with
roaring wind. Who
surprises.
dares trespass in the sacred grounds of our priestess? Hidden raiders spring down the mountain with dexterity and mountain ghosts. Berserker. Fueled with rage and determined to destroy, berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movement and attacks.
Who dares venture? None less than the amazing Power Eclipse and assistance.
Prior to combat with 2 or more monster cards, optionally discard a basic monster card but lose your companion for 3 turns. Heroic Sacrifice. The clash of steel rings out, echoing through the peaks. The mountains answer with a low, ominous rumble as a wall of white rushes towards the melee, sweeping away everything in its path. You seek shelter against a bluff, pressing close to the rock face as the avalanche roars overhead. When the trembling stops, you are miraculously unscathed. Your assailant's weapon juts from the snow. As you near, you realize it's still clenched in his hand, his body buried to the wrist by the avalanche. You brave the cold and free the raider from his icy grave. He takes a moment to catch his breath. You save me, though we are enemies by blood. Take my blessings and lead me to my thoughts. Deft eye. Reduce the speed of a wheel gambit. Blizzard. The climb becomes unbearable. You seek shelter in a cave and desperately fight off the onset of frostbite. When the howling winds ease, you clear the snow from the cave entrance to discover the dark clouds have passed. Mal clips further forges for firewood, saying this log is dry enough we can set up camp here for the night.
Children. It's hard to conceive that either of us were ever such.
Lost boy. You're just a small child, you overhear a deep voice growls. We have to take him to the dungeons or else he'll run straight to whatever northern clan he spawned from and show them where our outpost is. That's a shifty looking kid. I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him, says Malclips. You consider the boy's fate. Save the boy. Unsheathing your weapon, you demand they let the boy go. The Empire soldiers are unmoved by your threat. Continue. Soldier, the expansion of the Empire requires constant conscription of new blood. Soldiers block all attacks, greatly reducing their damage. Use bash to open them up for damage.
Once again, good intentions end up with people trying to hit me.
Check the unconscious guards, you notice the boy looking at you warily as if sizing you up. Okay, I guess I was just losing that
The
one.
dice are fair, and thus you have lost this
The
round.
boy disappears into the forest. Soon you hear him howl from a short distance. The raiders come out of hiding and the boy shouts, "Their outpost is that way." Stop the raiders. You stand in the raiders' way, forbidding them to pass. That's fine. Trapper. On the frozen plains, prey are few and far between. The keen eyes of a trapper see all. Trappers throw hunting traps that snare their targets, use evade to avoid traps, or change direction rapidly to break free.
Don't let them hit me! Too handsome for violence.
The sound of swords clashing draws out the guards from their outpost. After apprehending the northern raiders, the captain of the outpost hands you a reward. 5 food.
Now the confrontation. Are you ready to face the priestess of her people and drive the deal the Empire has requested? Or will you turn and flee?
The climb becomes unbearable, you seek shelter. Eat a forget-me-not. You feel a little starry-eyed. Quick, what day is it? Malcliffs and Merc wait urgently for your answer. College Day. Yes, the forest claps gleefully. The most auspicious or most doomful day on the calendar, depending on where you stand. Merc nods, happy with the results. He beckons Malclips closer. Of those of us left, you should seek Era of the Veil. She may know something of the cure. Last I hear, she's hiding out in the underneath.
Nicely done.
Oh no, not her. Malclips straightens his neck shawl nervously. The greasy goblin man giggles maniacally. Yes, her. She'll likely eat your bones before she lets you speak. Now, if you excuse me, I have business to run. With that, Malcliff's associate turns away and hurls a bouquet at shocked passerby. Flowers, fresh flowers, buy 'em or I'll eat your eyes.
Campfires will always offer warmth and heat, but they also
I
change
make the
with
pilgrimage
each
to the High
challenge.
Priestess. I mean you no
Be
harm.
prepared.
Without waiting for approval, he slumps down beside you and warms his hands by the fire. My youth, I once fancied a northerner warrior. She almost cut off my head when I serenaded her. Malclips plucks a mournful note on his lute. Young love, eh? The wind clears the dark clouds to reveal the spire of a ritual house protruding from the summit. You press on through thick snow to find the wooden structure adorned with the spoils of war. Enter. As you enter the great hall, the towering arch doors swing open with a heavy creak. A giantess in a velvet robe enters accompanied by raiders. Malclips bows low to the ground. My companion and I have been sent forth to discuss a truce between the Empire and the Northerners, milady. So they send me a silver-tongued devil and his mercenary, she smirks. I hope for your sake you have a decent offer and you kneel before the High Priestess. Only 5 blessings with a pitiful effort. With a flick of her wrist, bolts of lightning strike you.
You still have a chance to defeat this mission, even if imperfectly.
The giantess claps, the sound ringing in the silent, cold hall. Ha! The small thing survived it. Impressive. But if you wish to speak to me of a treaty, you must prove yourself against my champion. Her raider charges towards you. Continue. Berserker champion, fierce, loyal, and relentless champion of the High Priestess. Berserker weapons are imbued with ice that slows their enemies' movement and attacks.
Why do we always end up enraging the locals?
Even though you failed to bring me your offering, I'm impressed with how you wield your sword. Now hear my terms. The High Priestess draws herself up, a towering figure draped in fur and wrath. The North will never bend to the Empire. Blood for blood for blood. Those are my terms, small one. Let your leaders hear it and quake. With that, you make a quick descent to relay the message back to General Branstrom. For besting the High Priestess champion, the Humble Hammer, the Berserker's Creed, and Extinguisher. Winter Solstice, Burning Building, Temple Prayers, Cartographer. For sending Mount Frey's, your supplies have been added to 5 Food Warrior's Axe, Soldier Sword. For clearing out the Rusty Razor, Friendly Innkeeper. For convincing Merc to help Malclips, the Underneath. Take aim and uncover what lurks in Iron Peak. Rana's Remarkable Fishing. Unrest in Iron Peak. New challenges available on the challenge map, the Map Maker.
This game is merely the lesser game. It is not the true game of life and death, merely my model of it. I must prepare you for the challenges you will face when we meet Callus in truth. It is not one game now, but a score, each with its own nuance and delicate approach.
Thieves have stolen a relic from the Emperor's palace. The Empire are looking to hire adventurers to help recover this and other items.
These foes I place before you, these rules, I do not know truly if they will train you for the challenges that Callus will place in your way. Of course, we know how this part of the story ends. The Emperor is merely the face on the throne. Behind
the shrill
him,
voice of the town
the
crier
usurper
rings out
pulls
across the market
strings.
square. The Emperor
The one who
himself
sits
seeks
upon the
adventurers
throne of
guild
life
members.
and death
Urgent
has a great
expedition,
influence upon
vital
the
to the
world.
safety of the Empire.
Their very soul
You spot a crowd of
permeates the
travelers
lands
weighed
and
down
fills
with
the
weapons
hearts
and
of the
tools
people.
lingering nearby. The Empire is offering a reward just to set off on the expedition. Even more if we make it back. That's how desperate they are for help. The dealer adds a gold counter to the map.
The Empire does not
The Royal
ask for
Palace.
much, but in the end, they take everything.
On arriving at the gates of the Royal Palace, an armed escort leads you directly to the Emperor's chambers. The Emperor remains still and silent as his chief counsel lays out the expedition. Few relics from the last age still endure in this world. We had one in this very room until last night. She gestures to an empty pedestal. Not only must you reclaim the stolen symbol of our power, we ask that you gather its 3 sibling relics. Ask who stole the artifact. The evidence suggests a thief they seized on a weak spot in our guard schedule. There are many treasures in the palace. It is curious that this is all they stole. Few relics from the last age still endure in this world. And we're ready to go. Now, examine the pedestal. An ornate pillow sits atop a stone pillar. In the dust you make out the shape of a jagged blade. It was a ceremonial sword. It has sat for decades under our protection. We're not protecting it, you understand. We're protecting those who would try to possess it. The blade is cursed. Its venom strikes both wielder and foe in equal measure. Ready to go? Hold, adventurer. It took skilled and dangerous thieves to steal the artifact. We need to ensure you'll be safe out there. See our training officer on the way out.
A keen eye will notice that themes repeat
You're greeted by
themselves.
Captain Estrella
Events
Fiore.
too.
Thieves are
The wheel
cowards
ever
at heart.
turns.
They will dodge your heaviest attacks just as they dodge their civic duty. A swift blade is best to defeat them here. Try these out. Cutthroat
I
blades.
never understood the duel. If you're at war, use every tool at your disposal. If not, let things lie.
The quest takes you far away from the city. Vast wildlands stretch out before you. Your companion reminds you of the Emperor's mission. One relic was stolen by brazen thieves, another in the clutches of a shady merchant. One is enshrined in a small village to the east. As for the last, Malclip shrugs, who knows? Find 4 relics, deliver them to the Empire safely.
Your supplies are
Treacherous
running low.
wilds.
Make your choices carefully.
You pluck some juicy wild berries from a thorn-covered thicket. The realization they are poisonous arrives far too late.
A grand opportunity for you to take whatever pleases you.
Temple of Divine
and go
Providence
about your day.
provides blessings in exchange for simple gold donation. Take Guardian Angel.
These tokens represent the
While strolling the
expansion
docks of
the
Iron
game.
Peak, a tattooed
More
woman calls to you
options,
from a small
more
fishing sloop.
cards, more
As she shakes your hand, she
opportunities.
introduces herself as Rana Ishmael, captain of the SS Remarkable. You look strong of arm and sure of aim. Have you considered a career in fast-paced world of deep-sea harpoon fishing? Ask her about harpoon fishing. It's a popular pastime among the kinds of folks who need to prove their physical prowess. She stays brandishing a rust-covered harpoon. Kitty cat, come on, man. I can get you out on the water right now, or for a little extra gold. I know where I can acquire a premium harpoon. It'll help steady your aim. Behind her, the sea beckons. Agree to fish now. Captain Rana sails your boat away from the docks out into the open waters. As the shoreline disappears, Rana drops anchor. You need me to tell you how this works, or are you ready to throw some harpoons around? Ask for instructions. She puts one arm on your shoulder and points down into the water. We call that the ocean. It's got fish in it. If you throw your harpoon down there and it hits one, I'll pull it up for you. You want to be real careful of the reef wall. If your harpoon ends up in there, you might as well kiss it goodbye. The deeper you go, the bigger the fish, so you can never be too certain what you'll catch. Finally, there's a shipwreck way down there, an old merchant vessel. See that golden glimmer? You need a target fair and true. I'd aim for that. You get a firm grip on the harpoon and take aim at the reef below.
The pendulum swings like a scythe, bearing hope or failure.
Damn. Your harpoon hits the water with a sad splash and disappears. Rana shakes her head and sighs. Go on, you can do better than that. You get a firm grip on the harpoon and take to the reef below.
Nicely timed.
When uttering accuracy, your harpoon plunges deeper into the reef. The harpoon descends to the lowest reaches of the reef. The merchant's vessel treasured glitter tantalizing on the ocean floor.
Breathe, you have done well.
Your harpoon buries itself in something solid. Reyna hauls your catch up onto the
A
dock.
tool of life and of death.
Dead man's hand. Artifact. Aim a spell that deals 50 damage to the first enemy it hits. Causes more damage when your life is low. 500 max. Among the coins and confused sea urchins, you spy a curious gauntlet. It hums with arcane power as you slide it over your hand. The sun hangs low on the horizon. Reyna raises the anchor and says, "Time to return to the docks and to distribute the sea's bounty." Reyna scoops a pile of gold coins out of the waterlogged treasure chest. Not what I expected to haul up, but good enough. Reyna gives you a casual salute, a bucket of chum dangling from her arm. If you ever want to go on the water again, you know where to find me.
You are starving now. Every fresh encounter will cause you damage. Tread carefully.
Cutthroat's blades, a lovely pair of fine blades, fit for the finest gentleman. Well sharpened, well cared for, and deadly.
I'll have you know my friend here is killed far better than that.
With the battle resolved, you scavenge what you can from the remains.
A useful tool, but simple magic.
Extinguisher. Buy food.
You strike me as the type who would put themselves in harm's way for the benefit of others. Yet, perhaps you'd rather have someone else sacrifice themselves for you.
You hear shouting up ahead. As you make your way down the cobbled street, you see lights flickering on the road in front of you. As you approach, you see a building, flames of smoke, billowing out into the upper room windows. A crowd has formed outside, passing buckets of water between one another to temper the blaze. You push your way through the crowd, you see a woman frantically pleading to the villagers, "Please help, my family is in there. Anyone, please help." Brave the fire yourself, or let Malaclips attempt the rescue. Brave it myself.
The wheel is one of my favorite innovations. It combines many different elements of our game into one.
Toil.
Excellent.
Through a haze of
wise
smoke, you find
decision.
the woman's youngest daughter crying under a bed. You coax her out, scoop her up, and carry her out of the blaze. A villager rushes to your aid. "Thank you, brave adventurer. I can take it from here. But be warned, the building is not safe. It will soon collapse." The woman embraces her child and turns to you once more. "My husband. Did you see my husband? He's still in there. Please, please help." Return to the building. You find the woman's son attempting to find his way through the smoke and flames. Grabbing his hand, you lead him back through the building safely. The villager rushes to your aid. "Thank you, brave adventurer. I can take it from here, but be warned, the building is not safe. It will soon collapse." The woman embraces her child and turns to you once more and says, "My husband, did you see my husband? He's still in there. Please, please help." We will return to the building a third time. Redraw. So fast. The sudden
Oh
crack,
dear.
the beam above you gives way,
Move
injuring you and
faster
blocking
next
your
time.
path. You retrace your steps to get back out of the building. Okay, it's a little over half. Come on. The smoke is too thick and you find yourself disoriented, eyes burning. You fumbled your way back out of the building, catch your breath. Come on.
Now the power is yours to use.
As you exit the building, collapses behind you. While you are unable to save everyone, the villagers are grateful for your valiant effort.
In your life, you will have wandered endless intersections, yet this one sticks with you. Why?
You arrive at a
What is it in
signpost
your
detailing
memory
the
that
possible
catches here?
path east and west.
A
Friendly
simple
innkeeper,
part
as
of
night
every
draws
story,
in, you return to the rusty
especially a
razor.
tale spent in
The
the
proprietor
company of
greets you
allies
warmly.
and
What can I
boon
provide to the
companions.
savior of the rusty razor? Buy food. Discuss the latest rumors.
Mages are hard to eradicate at the best of times. We
Following
have our
Malcolm's
ways of
cryptic
hiding
directions,
from the
many of
light.
which involves borrowing farm animals, you arrive at the edge of a vast and lonely lake. There you uncover a cave entrance blocked by a stone door. You must seek out Era of the Veil in the underneath. The bard has explained as you followed a frightened cow around the previous night. That's why he's seeking Era of the Veil. Malclips drops his wine bottle nervously and forces a loud and hearty laugh, completely ignoring your question. The bespectacled ogre manning the door to the underneath doesn't look up from his book as you approach. 15 food items per entry, he grunts. Malclips scoffs. Robbery. If you're trying to hustle us, sir, I'll have you know that I can shoot lightning from my fingertips. Times are hard for us all, Mal. You'll see when you get in there. Malclips tries to wheedle his way in, but the ogre merely grips his club threateningly and he desists.
One more relic is within your grasp. Who hired these thieves?
Thieves'
That
erratic
is
movement
the true
crosses right
question.
into your path. You catch them frantically loading the relic onto a horse and cart. Just hold them off for a couple minutes while we ready the horses. After clearing out the thieves' camp, you quickly locate the relic. You recovered a relic, you gained 4 fame. Receive the freeloader curse, lose 10 gold each time you revive your companion in combat. The relic is cursed, Malclips explained. Who would want to steal such a thing in the first place?
A moment of peace on your travels. Savor
You
it.
feel soothed and reinvigorated by your exploration.
Yet inattention leads to disaster. Not every inch of the wilderness
Treacherous
is
wilds.
peaceful.
While traversing a dangerous cliff face, you slip and lose your footing. Though relatively unharmed, the same cannot be said for the pack of traveler's rations that broke your fall. Lose 5 food. Treacherous wilds. Lose the rest of my food. Okay, wow. Thanks, Hand of Fate.
Even peace
Dangerous
hides
wilds.
steel within.
Musketeers, deadly at distance. Only the most skilled are recruited into musketry. Musketeers fire heavy attacks, defend with a shield, else evade for your...
I hope this works!
The battle resolved, you scavenge what you can from the remains. You lose 2 gold and gain 4 fame. 1 equipment from 2. Berserker's Creed. The Bash. I'll take Berserker's Creed. Using the light weapons.
The power rage grants is often misunderstood. Your supplies are exhausted. Unless you find some food, you will surely
The open
perish.
wilds. The wilds are welcoming. Their bounty plentiful. In the bed of a river, you find some discarded coins. Found poison berries before. We're just gonna starve out, I guess. Dangerous
Starvation
wilds.
has been the end of many adventurers. Your artifact is empty now and will be of little use to you here.
By sea and sun, fate and fame!
With the battle resolved, you scavenge what you can.
I'm no happier to be here than you will.
I have little sense of trust
You
for
find a
wandering
traveling
merchants.
salesman wandering the
True
wilds.
bargains are rarely found with those who are
Negotiate a
unwilling to
better
wait
price.
around for their customers to test their wares.
Got some rare things on sale, stranger. Buy the rope for 29. Cursed Helm of Ogagu. Corrupted healers lose gold whenever you receive life. Another cursed relic, Malcliffs exclaims, that was not part of our deal with the Empire. The open wilds.
The longest night and a symbol of the deepest matters.
The
You
winter
would do well
solstice.
to attend to the things that happen here.
On the longest night of winter, the townsfolk of Stiegel set up around a huge bonfire to celebrate the victory of light over darkness. And one night, the Empire turns a blind eye to the outlawed use of magic. You join a group of peasants close to the fire. Taking a sip, the woman beside you offers you a goblet. You politely accept the pungent potion and take a quick swig. Warmth rushes through you, your body, and you fall into deep hypnotic trance as you stare into the dancing flames. The townsfolk chant, calling on the mountain spirits. In a flurry of snow, spirits descend and join the festivity. A curious white owl perches next to you and speaks. I sense a magical air about you. If you feel particularly inclined, will you share your blessings in exchange for longevity? He nuzzles against your arm as you await your response. Give him one blessing. The creature lets out an ear-piercing squawk. A tingling sensation flows through your body. You gaze into the flames as the festivities continue around you. You wake to find yourself in a stable, nestled along a herd of cows. On your way out, you spot a few unconscious Empire guards huddled together outside the stable.
There is little I can say that will stop an adventurer pilfering ancient artifacts.
The village of Durnark is unremarkable save for the tiny, near-forgotten shrine. Here you find another relic resting on a dusty altar. An old woman greets you. So you are interested in our relic. Local legends tell of a time when a great hero will come to claim it. Until then, it remains here under our watch. Claim that I am that hero. You have arrived here just as foretold, our savior. You recovered a relic. Drax ring. Shared glory. Lose one fame each time you use a companion ability in combat. Another accursed relic, Malclips Gumbles. I swear, before Malclips can finish, the relics start to vibrate and hum, to glow with an eerie, unnatural light. Mage's Tower. Your eye is drawn to a similar glow, emitting in response from a distant tower. You think they're trying to tell us something, Malclips smirks. Let's get moving.
Wealth through exploration. We have many lands to discover, you and I.
A traveling
if you
cartographer.
cannot make use of this, I will question your skills.
In the process of making the first full map of the Empire, wishes you to pay gold for information on areas. Wishes to pay you gold for information on areas you have seen in your recent travels. I need not know every stream or stone that lies from here to the capital. I'm sure whatever knowledge you could provide will be of some worth. He is thoroughly impressed with the knowledge he has gained from your travels. You gain 2 fame. The old maiden. Ask for supplies. She sustained you for a few days, her eyes very tired. The open wilds, their plentiful bounty. The treacherous wilds. The wilds are sometimes treacherous and harmful. Traversing a dangerous cliff face, you slip and lose your footing. Lose half my food. Dangerous wilds.
And now
Mage's
you must
Tower.
begin to ask yourself how these threads connect. Were you simply a patsy for the Empire, or did you hope to be something greater?
The relics lead you to a mysterious tower. You will need to ascend it to reach the mage at its summit. A storm swells ominously overhead. Enter the tower. As you climb the tower stairs, a voice calls down from above. Do you even know why you're here? How much did they tell you when they ordered you out into the wilds? When they sent you out here like a dog after a bone? You continue to wind your way up the tower. finally reached the top of the tower. You've been sent here to do the biddings of the true enemy. These relics can be used to defeat him, but you are looking to return them to him. I see you bring the relics, the mage says with a grin. A thief can't be trusted to deliver on a job, but one can always rely on the predictability of the Empire to send their dogs. She holds the remaining relic out mockingly. I suppose you'll be wanting this. Take it, she says calmly, but be warned. Its curse will sap your strength and your will to fight. And combat is inevitable, I'm afraid. Or, she continues, you can let me keep it. But should you best me, it will be lost to you forevermore. The relic is heavier in your hands than you expected, and its presence clouds your thoughts. The mage laughs. Your Imperial masters would be most proud. Prepare to meet your fate. Relic Thief Mage. This mage went to extraordinary lengths to gather these relics. Mage shoots projectiles from a distance, use evade to avoid their attacks.
Why does everyone even want these accursed things?
The relics recovered, you journey back to the Imperial City to reclaim your reward. Captain Estrella meets you at the city gates. I'll take you straight to Chief Counsel. She'll be eager to examine what you brought back. On the walk to the palace, you explain that you safely recovered all the relics. This may be a rare day when the Council with a smile. Estrella says you can see her trying to catch the words as they've come out. My apologies, this is indeed another glorious day for the Empire. The Chief Counsel looks over the relics you've returned. You have done well. We shall keep these relics safe, lest they fall into less learned hands.
Every part of this tale is a part of your history, a part of the reasons
completing the
that
Emperor's
bring you
expedition.
here.
Empire contacts, Palace Armory, exploring the wilds, a winding trail, deadly forest. Gambler's Jewel, the Lord's Diadem, Billy Clubs, the Mercenary Garb. For befriending the Empire, your supplies have been added to. Brigand's Blades. Safely recovering every relic, exquisite blade, a man of the world. For landing the catch of the day, the dead man's hand. For greatly helping the cartographer with his map, Duel. Your new companion, Cruel Katura, awaits you at the Hound. New challenge available on the challenge map, The Servant.
You have done well. You understand the basic rules of the game now. From here, they will change. In this case, the Empress is a symbol, a leader of the northern clans, but not their only one. Now we come to one of the new nuances of our
Raiders
game.
have destroyed our
The hunt,
village.
the
The elder
fame,
of Talos
and esteem would
explains in a
not work
hushed
for
voice.
all players.
They were sent by a dark
But it
shaman in
works
the
for
north.
you. I can
They
sense
were searching
it
for
in you.
this. He draws a large
Your
warhammer
pride,
from his cloak.
Your skill.
Wraith's Ire.
In
It
time,
is the only
we
weapon that will break
learn
the
all
seal
of you.
protecting their encampment. He hands you the weapon.
Anger is a powerful force.
The weapon is heavier than you imagine, perhaps weighed down by some hidden magic preventing you from wielding it to its potential. The elder looks straight in your eyes as though peering into your soul. Not all weapons are for all men. Only those who have demonstrated great acts of valor and courage may bear Wraith's Ire. You do well to remember that. Begin your quest. Must find the courage to wield this weapon and defeat the shaman before the 5th village falls. The village needs a hero. The town of Braden is surely danger and must be warned. Thank you. I must trust the sacrifice of Talos not go in vain. He bows his head. May the gods bring you good fortune.
At what point does
Stressed
honor
damsel.
bend to pragmatism?
Thank you. Now, if you be so kind to give me all your gold, the woman draws a pair of concealed blades from her corset. Come on out, boys. You have no time to react as a group of bandits spring from hiding.
You have to stop helping people. It always ends up like this.
With the thugs defeated, you search their bodies for valuables. You find some food amongst their possessions.
When the hero runs
Raiders
in,
ambush.
the villain takes their time to bait their trap.
Rustling behind you is all the warning you get in your
lest
life
they
in
put
danger.
you in your
In turn as the
place.
cords of Northern Bola wrap around your body. You've been ambushed.
Why do you keep getting us into these situations?
The raiders defeated, you contemplate your next move. Search for spoils. You rifle through the defeated northerners' belongings, uncovering a stash of 20 gold.
Time passes and things
Unrest in
change.
Iron Peak, a small
The advances of the
pall of
Empire
smog
march on,
casts the
and
city
mystery
in
and
dull
magic falls further
gray
into
light as you
darkness,
navigate
yet
the
death
narrow
stalks
streets and
the
back
streets
alleys of
the
Iron
city.
Peak. Beware the Prince of Poisons, calls a young boy in a short-brimmed cap as he hands out leaflets to the passing crowds. You stop to read a discarded parchment, sodden by the damp thing that clings to the cobblestones. Prince of Poison strikes again, another mass poisoning in the back streets of Lowtown. Mayor raises reward to 500 gold. The boy approaches as you finish reading. If you are really hope to be safe, you best protect yourself. I have just the thing at a bargain price. Ask about the Prince of Poisons. He's the one responsible for all the killing that's been going on. The child exclaims wide-eyed. Dozens, if not hundreds, of innocent people dead, all poisoned by the prince. He strikes at random anywhere in the city and at any time. Just drops one of his canisters in the streets dead before anyone knows what's happening. The boy looks around to make sure nobody's watching too closely and discreetly takes a small vial covered with slipper from his pocket. This tonic was brewed with the fruit of the rare plant that only grows high in the northern hills. It will boost your strength. Give you an edge you need to survive the poison. I like you, stranger. It's fair. Judge a character and you seem like a good sort. For you, this is only 10 gold. I'll buy it. A sudden scream as you reach for your weapon and sends the crowd into a panic. A band of armed warriors advances on a silver-haired woman weighed down with impressive array of weapons. One of the men points menacingly at the woman, declared, "You sent my brother Mad Eye back to the break-knuckle prison, bounty hunter." "Yes," the woman says matter-of-factly, "I did. Perhaps you should learn to accept rejection. Nobody crosses my family." The warriors rush forward to attack. I guess we defend the woman. The old woman says nothing as you move to stand by her while the thugs advance. Keturah. You will find no charity here. When activated, Keturah fires her back holstered weapon and causes high damage to enemies in range. Stay close to charge her ability faster.
Nothing like the smell of gunpowder to get the blood racing.
I hope this works!
The silver-haired woman puts her guns away. "I didn't ask for your intervention." You check the fallen for anything of use as she turns to leave.
No better way to enforce justice than force. All law follows from might.
A squad of soldiers appears from further down the street, calling for everyone to lay down their arms. Too late to be of use, however, they could do little more than survey the carnage. The garrison captain rides up and addresses the woman curtly. Kedera, causing trouble again? It's by doing your job that I make enemies like this, Kedera responds sharply. The captain bristles at the remark, but keeps his voice under control as he retorts. We have more important work to do than chasing street thugs and petty criminals. And how goes the search for the Prince of Poisons, Kedera asks. I hear another 12 died at the smelter yesterday. The captain's face fills with anger, but Kedera simply turns and walks away, adding, I have work to do, and you know where to find me. The garrison captain screams orders for everyone to disperse, then rides off down the street. The soldiers run to keep up with him, and you slip away before more trouble starts. You leave the troubled town of Irons Peak with the impression that you've yet not seen all that it has to offer.
You know my thoughts on priests and their ilk. Fire is a symbol of so much. Purity, will, creative force, and power. A moment of inattention, and it becomes pure destruction. That should help. I'm not a vain man. You must appreciate that this game, has been my focus for more years than I can count. I have a certain pride regarding its twists and turns. Perhaps you should have taken your time. Let us see what the next town holds.
Following the Talos Elder's instructions, you find yourself on the road to Brayden. Dusk falls as you continue on your quest to the village. The village
Do not
burns.
take lightly the mantle of fame.
You
Being
arrive
a
at
figurehead
Brayden
is
dead
not
night to
without
find it under attack
consequences.
from raiders. As the village burns, 3 brave farmers attempt to defend the last of the surviving villagers. One calls out, "Please help, we must stop these savages before all is lost." You draw your weapons and rush to the raid. One-handed weapons are recommended against Northerners. Try these billy clubs. Billy clubs. These twin clubs have been set to Imperial task for a century now. dead man's hand.
A mighty
Famous
weapon
use Wraith's
for a
ire.
mightier warrior than you, I think.
The surviving villagers rush to the farmer's aid and tend their wounds. "Thank you, hero," they cry. "You saved our people, but sadly our village is no more. Please accept a small token of our gratitude."
It appears you are worthy to wield the weapon
Turn
of
Wraith's ire
champions.
over in your hands.
The
ruin on
raiders
his
will
face
hide
begins
from you
emitting a
no
golden
longer.
light. It is unclear if it now weighs less or if you have a newfound strength, but either way, you can now wield the mighty hammer. Sanctum. Remembering the Elder of Talos' instructions, you set out towards the Sanctum of the Shaman.
Thus we see the contempt the Empire holds your
Careless
kind
comment in
in.
an Imperial tavern gains you some unwanted attention. A soldier pushes through the throng. Though merely a corporal, you sense his eagerness to prove himself. The Empire has no place for honorless sellswords, he says, loudly sizing you up with contempt. Coin slaves like you are little more than undisciplined thugs. Nobody cares for your outrageous claims of heroism. I know of this mercenary trader at the back of the tavern pipes up. They say he killed a dozen ogres in a single day. Poppycock, says the soldier, turning back to you. You think you know how to handle that thing, do you? He continues, gesturing at your weapon. I am Cassius, the finest swordsman in my company. Would you like to prove your mettle against a real warrior? Or goblins in the corrupted limit of your talents? I mean, yeah, except the duel. Cassius, very drunk. Watchman can block, greatly reducing incoming damage. Use bash to open them up for damage. Damn. Enough. Your opponent steps back, hands raised. I don't have time for this nonsense. The tavern crowd cheers your victory, and the tales of your battle are told and retold, your prowess growing with each telling. You gain 8 fame. Greetings, fellow traveler, a cheerful fellow, clad in a brilliant yellow surcoat, passes you on the road one day. May I just say that hat is simply divine. I had a similar one once long ago. Pulls out a hefty scroll. I've been documenting every nook and cranny of this beautiful land, and my soul is shaking with delight. The thought of sharing it with you. Raiders ambush, simple prayers. Okay. May your vistas be breathtaking and your tree climbing be non-lethal. With an enthusiastic wave, the man shoulders his heavy rucksack and continues his journey, whistling all the while.
Nobility continues
Palace
to
Armory is
reward
holding a special
itself, and the
promotion
rich
for the
become
nobility.
yet more wealthy.
The guards bow to you as you enter. Welcome. You'll be pleased with what we have in store for you today. The storemen present you with a trunk filled with equipment, a fee of 10 gold for you to enter our promotion. Promotion is no doubt a scam. No money for the church either?
You have prepared
Sanctum.
yourself for this
It
battle.
is as the Talos
Now
Elder
you
said.
must face
Malaklis
it,
remarks.
but not
The
alone,
Shaman's Sanctum is
perhaps.
protected by a magical barrier. Best you try that hammer. Use Wraith's ire. You raise Wraith's ire above your head and bring it down against the magical wall with all your might. The hammer finds its marks and you are immediately engulfed in a blizzard of snow and ice. The howling winds spin your way and then vanish as quickly as they had appeared. Disoriented, you look around for Malaklis, but he's nowhere to be found. You find your bearings and realize you are standing in a forest clearing covered in newly fallen snow. You step back and bump into something. Turning, you see a towering northern clansman, bald
He
and
has
brutal.
brute strength, if nothing else.
He does not flinch nor seems even the slightest bit interested in you. He stands with weapon drawn and brow lowered. You turn to follow his gaze. And then you see her, sitting on a throne of wicker and thorns. Small, straw-plated charms and oddities hanging from the trees behind her. Before her kneel countless raiders, worshipping their leader in eerie stillness. The defender of villages and the exiled one, the shaman says with a hiss. She steps down from her throne. I know why you have come. Let this end. I hope you know how to fight, hero, says the bald northerner calmly. There are more warriors here than we can kill. To defeat a snake, you must cut off its head. You ready your weapon, and the shaman and the clansmen surround you. Raid leader Gerda. Raid leaders are the front line of the northern assault, centers of tactical and religious guidance. The shaman casts spells that hear her allies. Attack her quickly to interrupt the spell.
I do not know you, yet we will fight. Stand clear of my blades. I stand clear of yours.
The shaman's body rises, a dark spirit leaves her chest and vanishes into the air. The remaining raiders flee into the forest. As the sky clears, the sun beams down on the colossal warrior that had fought alongside you. I am Kolbjorn, he explains, as I was born in the northern clans, but I am clanless now. You do not know us, but we were not always like this. Perhaps one day the clans will return to the tradition they have lost. You befriended Kolbjorn the Wanderer. You and I have cleared a small part of this stain for my honor this day. If you call, I will answer. He reaches out a massive hand and clasps your forearm. Let us head back and find your friend. And with that, you and Kolbjorn make your way back through the forest in search of Malacliffs.
Another card returns to my deck. Do not worry. I have more challenges before you will be ready to face my foe.
For defeating the Shaman of the North, the Armor of Gluttony, the Ring of Food, the Pious Robes, the Frontier Barbet, Fame and Shame, the Watchtower, the Raiders Ambush, the Bridge Skirmish. Proving yourself a worthy hero, Wraith's Ire. For befriending Kolbjorn, Clan Eyebright, and the Wanderer. For defending all of the villages, the Elder's Gift. The Briar Folk have taken root in Endless Adventures, the Wild Hunt. Endless Adventures is now available from the challenge map. Goblins are now causing mischief in Endless Adventures. Shadow beasts now stalk the land in Endless Adventures. Aid your allies in Endless Adventures.
Every game, even this game we play, is a shadow of the great game. The game of life and death. Once I was its master, but now another sits upon that throne. I will teach you everything I can in this game, that you might have the strength to master the great game in time. I doubt the Northerner can offer you anything. Time will tell.
The Hierophant. Discover which assassin seeks to kill Father Galfrey.
In better times, it would have been my card here, the guardian of knowledge and the protector of the gates of life and death. Now Callus sits that throne, and miscreants assume the position.
With Malcliff's encouragement, what's a few murders in the grand scheme of things? You find yourself sat opposite the opulently dressed leader of the Thieves Guild, or one of the leaders. It's a shadowy organization. He takes a sip of wine and leads back to savor the taste. I am scheduled to be assassinated. I believe the suspect is one of my own. With a subtle nod, he indicates a bearded man, a woman with red hair, and a man with gray eyes. Borden, Rowena, and Grindon, my 3 personal silencers. One of them left me this note, I am sure, when the red candle's flame burns out, on his last evening in the Mulberry Inn. The false priest will have his sins appeased. He points to the red candle upon the fireplace. The assassin's favors theatrics over secrecy, it seems. Find the assassin for me. To do that, you will likely need gold. These will tell you anything for gold. Ask more. Grindon. Know very little of Grindon. I hired him from the last town, a skilled killer. He's prone to making the most preposterous claims, many of which are untrue. I'd be wary of his exaggerations, even if he isn't the assassin, especially when he's had too much wine. Borden. Borden is the eldest of my employees, a simple, nervous kind of man. I highly doubt that he would have the heart nor the finesse to assassinate me, unless he has hidden his true nature all this time. I'd say you'd have to pour a few meads into him if you want him to talk. Rowena has been one of my silencers for as long as I have been in this position, and this is a very long time indeed. I asked him that she infiltrate the 3rd Legion and the Imperial Army and eliminate their captain. She did so, of course, and efficient as anything. I suspect that she is the only truly loyal to gold, but she quite is a valuable asset to the guild, so I would be ashamed if she intends to assassinate me. No was left for me at the end. When the red candle's flame burns out in his last evening in the Mulberry Inn, the false priest will have his sins appeased. He points out the red candle upon the fireplace. The assassin favors theatrics over secrecy, it seems. And he is Father Galfrey, though it's not my true name. Of course, I keep it in accounts in this region. Find the assassin for me. To do that, you will likely need gold. These will tell you anything for gold. And when she waves you away, you retire to bed, wondering how Malcliff's talked you into this.
A city is still a city, even when haunted by death.
Rain rolls down shuttered windows as you walk the streets of Iron Peak. Fear and exhaustion seep from the city's crumbling walls. You have passed through the deserted city gates alongside a ragtag band of fortune seekers, each one seeking to claim the head of Aculus, Prince of Poisons, and the source of Iron Peak's mass murders. You, however, seek an altogether different target, the bounty hunter of legend, Cruel Ketera. You are building a rebellion, and the woman who took down the Winter Triplets would be a welcome addition. Iron Peak at the Hound Inn. With dubious channels, Malcliff has ascertained the hunter's last known whereabouts. It is a pointless quest, coin slave. Cruel Ketera does not understand the concept of friendship. You are very lucky, perhaps she'll merely shoot you in the foot. Weary innkeeper serves pints to rowdy mercenaries and a few exhausted city guards. That's her, isn't it? The inn falls silent as the arrival of the grizzled woman with a brass blunderbuss strapped to her back, Cruel Ketera. She must have been tall in her youth, but age has bent her and withered her. An old rag holds back her tangled locks, and the line of her mouth is set to a permanent scowl. Hey, a lanky bandit with a tattooed skull pushes through the crowd and points a dagger accusingly at the old bounty hunter. Ketera, you wily cow, we meet again. It is I, Oscal, feared amongst the bandits. Ketera blinks and shakes her head, then reaches for firearms with a heavy sigh. Oscal and his crew sneer at the old woman as she methodically loads her weapon. slap Oscal in the back of the head. The palm of your hand rings loud and true on a smooth, bald head. The innkeeper and his kitchen maid are aroused by the ruckus and toss you out into the street. You find yourself outside a tavern facing down Oscal and his menacing crew, Cruel Ketera, by your side. Oscal the Thin, one of Cruel Ketera's many enemies. Assassins perform quick, heavy attacks, use evade or parry.
Let's see what you can do, youngin'.
The old woman spits blood onto the cobbled street. Yes, you will do. Ask if she will join your cause. She raises her hand for you to shake. I know why you sought me out. I follow no flag. But if at the end of this I should find Aculus dead at my feet, I will spend my remaining breaths on your little rebellion. The Prince of Poison is no ordinary quarry. I will lead us to him, and you will fight by my side.
A reward well earned.
A pall of smog casts the city in dull gray lights as you navigate the narrow streets and back alleys of Iron's Peak. Beware of the Prince of Poisons. Prince of Poison strikes again. Mayor raises reward to 500 gold. The boy approaches as you finish reading. Visit the marketplace. The Iron Peak marketplace is large enough to house many stalls. As you wander through, you note many a vacant. Few people seem to choose the risk of shopping in such a public place these days, and that those that do never linger for long. In a quiet corner of the market, you find a desperate man attempting to sell an unusual assortment of oddities. Picks up the statue of a three-headed creature, saying that this statue of a healing spirit from the distant kingdom of Dunita, Duntia, is exactly what you need to survive the next attack by the Prince of Poisons. By the statue. Lone Wolf, your companion will not aid you in combat. Sorry, stranger, the stall owner says, suddenly packing up the rest of his wares. But I stole these from a particularly vengeful warlock, and his magic prevents me from just throwing them away. Good luck with that one. The man kicks the table over and flees down the back alley. You lose sight of him in the gloom and decide to abandon his god's-forsaken town. You leave the troubled town of Iron's Peak with the impression that you have not seen all that it has to offer.
Once again,
Return
we
to the Mulberry
return to
Inn.
the inn, seeking clues to save a life. When we
To the
look
inn.
into memories, so
Find
many
Father
things
Galfrey
are
at his
left
usual
unsaid
table by the fireplace. You
and
sit down across
clouded.
from him. He
Why
scratches some
this
numbers on
life?
many rolls of paper strewn from across
Why
the table and glances
this
up at you.
inn?
3 days until the assassin comes for me, and 3 suspects how apt. 3 days to uncover the liar. I like to follow one of my silencers, trading trust for information. Pay if you must. We all covet gold. This is why we are in the business now. If somebody has paid a high price for my head, then there is little I can do. Godfrey said the assassin will always lie regardless of their personality. He considered his wine for a moment. I'd imagine the assassin is more inclined towards lying. If you could root out the liar, you will uncover the assassin too. Go Grindon. I've told Grindon to stake out the castle by Moorhammer Lake for any movement, out or in. The lady of the castle owes us a considerable debt.
You surely
the
have a
meeting point
liking
in your
for
map and
strange
retire for the
bedfellows.
night.
Here you are, helping thieves challenge thieves, without a thought for their ultimate victims. One should always keep an eye on their belongings.
With a snap, you feel
Lest
something
little
being yanked off
hands
your
find
person. You
idle
turn to see a few
work.
goblins running away, giggling and pointing at you. With no time to check what was stolen from you, rush after the thieving devils. Some highwaymen emerge from the bushes to protect the goblins. There will never be a place for small hands and quick wits. Defeat goblins quickly to avoid losing your items for good. Use attack more frequently while goblins are alive to protect the spoils. Take back your brigand's blades from the unconscious goblin. As soon as you do, with a splutter, the goblin in question awakes and flips away from you. Giggling, it escapes into the forest. So goblins are colluding with the Thieves Guild now, huh? When the thugs defeated you, search their bodies for valuables.
How appropriate. Here we begin to see the potential of cards based
Raiders
around
have destroyed
fame.
our village, the elder
If you
explains in
can
the hush
force
voice. They
them
were
from
searching
your
for this.
deck
He
and
draws a
into
weapon
your
from his cloak and
hands,
hands it to you.
you can begin to exploit their power.
You may not have the will to yet bear this gift, but in time I trust you come to find us truth. He continues, may this weapon bring you better fortunes than it did our people, and may their sacrifice be your gain. take back Wraith's desire from the unconscious goblin. As soon as you do, with a splutter, the goblin in question awakes and flips away from you, giggling and escapes into the forest. So goblins are colluding with the Thieves Guild now.
Matched blades built to enforce justice. Assassins. I have little love for them, less still for the criminal guilds that fill the cities these days.
With a shout, Grendon
Bankers,
signals your arrival.
thieves, assassins, merchants, kings. Each tries to use their power to control those around them.
The castle by the Moorhammered Lake, you find some long grass and settle down for the day. Despite being a stakeout, Grendon happily talks quite loudly. You know, my sources tell me the lady inside is one for high treason. He suddenly pulls out a bit of charcoal and paper. Would you like my autograph? Sure. You allow him to scribble his name on the roll of paper, and he tucks it lovingly into your hand. Grendon trusts you a little more. Time passes, but nobody leaves or enters the modest castle. I say, who are you anyway? Grendon retrieves a spoiled sweet from a paper bag and pops in his mouth. I've not seen you around here before. I'm a new recruit. Really, I heard we didn't need any more recruits, that we're struggling to feed the mouths we already have. Grendon squints at you suspiciously, stroking his hat. Tell me, what'd you do to get recruited? Grendon snatches the air in front of you triumphantly. Everybody knows Father Gaffrey doesn't wear shoes, he has wooden legs. Grendon trusts you a little less. Little else happens during the stakeout. You spend most of the time watching a dog sleep. Before you head your separate ways, you take the chance to question Grendon. Grendon is checking his appearance in the reflection of his blade. Asking about Father Gaffrey. Sorry, but I only share that sort of thing with my dedicated fans. Grendon places the gold into a royal blue coin purse made of velvet and lace.
Back to the bones. I hope you have learned to be their master.
Father Galfrey, a doddering old fool. I'm surprised he hasn't already been replaced by a younger, more dashing guild member. He's gone soft in his old age. The other day he let one of the rabble go free after they mucked up a job. No thumbs chopped off, nothing. Grendon is checking his appearance in the reflection of his blade. It's about his favorite food. Berry pudding. Bid goodbye. I hope the job with Grendon was fruitful today. You are not dead with a knife in your back, so I presume yes. Be prudent to review what my silencers have said when you have a quiet moment. Perhaps you will catch a lie in the process. Rowena has been tasked with kidnapping the child of Lady Fielding as they journey to the capital. You note your meeting point on the map and retire for the night. The Empire has no place for honorless sellswords. It's time for a duel. Captain Cassius. Never mind, mercenary, you did your best, but you get back to butchering goblins and leave fighting to the real professionals. This one's not looking too good. Dead? Oh, that's not good.
Combat solves so little. It has ended this, however.
The Hierophant. Oppressing cruel Ketera at the Hound. Iron Peak Ballistics. The Hunter.
There is still a chance of completion, but no chance of perfection now.